Hi, welcome back to my movie explanation. Today, I'm going to explain a family drama movie called Useless. Spoilers ahead, watch out, and take care. The film opens with a man riding a horse in a rodeo show. There's an audience around to watch the show. After the show, the horses are taken back to the trailer by a mother and a daughter. The mother, named Robin, goes out to the trailer and she gets hit by a truck and she dies in the accident. After this, the daughter Jessie, by her Aunt Laurel and Uncle Mick, who live in western Montana. Jessie's Uncle Mick talks to her in their farm and consoles her for their loss. She asks him, does the pain of losing her mother ever go away? He replies, it eases slowly. You just have to wait, and tells her you're going to live your life good again. After dinner, while Laurel was washing dishes, Mick talks to her about Jessie and how she's heartbroken, and tells her that he won't let her down. He asks his wife Laurel, who is Jessie's mother's sister, if she's okay. She tells him that she is getting by. In the next scene, we see that Jessie is being admitted into a new school because she now lives with her aunt and uncle. Laurel asks her what her plan for the future is, and asks her if she wants to be a nurse. Jessie says no. Laurel drops Jessie at school and heads back home. After this, we see Mick going to a logger for a job, but he says there are no vacancies. So Mick tells him if anything opens up, just give me a call. In the next scene, Jessie takes a car and goes sightseeing. She looks at a horse in a field eating grass, and she gets down to the horse to see the horse. She takes the horse back to the ranch. The owner of the ranch talks to Jessie and thanks her. Amber, the owner, asks Jessie where she is from. She tells Amber that she lives with Laurel and Mick. They are her aunt and uncle. Jessie tells Amber that she was looking for a job. Amber tells Jessie to start working in the ranch. While having dinner, Jessie tells her uncle and aunt that she got a job at Amber's horse farm. Mick says, good, you found a job right off. To that, Jessie says it's good luck. Laurel says it's not good luck. You have something to do with it. You are a good girl. After this, we see Jessie in her new school. When she enters into her new class, everyone looks at her because she was new there. Jessie makes friends, whose name is Kenzie, while having lunch. Jessie comes back home from school. On the other side, Mick is cutting logs for firewood, and he notices that Jessie is walking sadly in the field. He understands that she was missing her mother badly. He feels bad because he couldn't do anything about it. He gives her the space she needs. After a while, he goes to her and asks if she is free on Friday, and tells her they will go for a rodeo. She agrees. We can see that on Friday, Jessie and her Uncle Mike go to the rodeo and try to enjoy the show. After the rodeo, they get home at night after everyone falls asleep. Mickey goes in the kitchen and takes a jar full of money and puts it in an envelope. The next morning, Jessie goes to Amber's farm. She gives her a tour and appoints her in the job. After this, we see Mick going to a horse farm in search of a horse to give Jessie. The owner there agrees to sell him a horse, but she tells him that the horse he decided to buy is not that special. Mick goes back home and tells his wife that he wants to buy a horse for Jessie, and he even selected one. She asks him how much does the horse cost. He tells her it's $500. But Laurel says, Mick, you wanted to buy a rifle with that money. Mick says, I have enough rifles. I just want to buy a horse for Jessie. Laurel seems a bit disappointed listening to what Mick said. He asks her why she's disappointed. She tells him that whenever she looks at Jessie on a horse, she is reminded of her sister Robin. She also mentions that horse riding and rodeo are a waste of time. After this, back at school, we see a young man in the principal's office. The principal tells the young man that the way he is behaving in school is not how his students are supposed to be. He tells the young man to behave properly for the last year he's in school, and after that, he can live however he wants to. In the school hallway, a bully takes away the bugs that Kenzie had collected and bullies her by not giving it back. Then, the young man appears and takes it back from the bully and gives it back to Kenzie. After this, she introduces Jessie to that young man. In the next scene, we see Jessie in the house and her aunt comes into her room and she tells her to come out and see the surprise her uncle has for her. Jessie comes out and sees her Uncle Mick had bought a horse for her. She says this is beautiful and takes her into the field and leaves it there to eat grass. She comes back to her uncle and asks him what the name of the horse is. He tells her, believe it or not, it's Lucky, and he tells her you can call it whatever you like. Meanwhile, Laurel looks all of this from a glass window. Laurel goes into the basement and brings the saddle to fix onto the horse. Jessie says thank you to Laurel. Laurel tells Jessie that the saddle is very special to her and to take care of it. Jessie puts the saddle on the horse and starts riding the horse. In the next scene, an old friend of Mick and Jessie come to visit them on the farm and they play poker together. All of them seem to be having fun after a long time. Day by day, Jessie gets better at riding the horse and makes the horse useful in her own way. Jessie has a smile on her face ever since she got the horse. Uncle Mick sees this and thinks to himself that he's done something good for Jessie, and she's coming out of the sadness of losing her mother. The next day, while Uncle Mick was driving the car, he feels dizzy and opens the car door. After this, he collapses on the road. Someone sees him and calls an ambulance. Laurel finds this out and comes running and gets into the car to go to the hospital. When Jessie asks her what happened, she tells her that something happened to her Uncle Mick and he's in the emergency room, and she will call her when she knows what happened. In the night, Laurel comes back and she tells Jessie that he lost his vision while driving. The next morning, they go to the hospital to see Uncle Mick. He is still unconscious. Seeing this, Jessie tells him not to leave her. Jessie goes to school, and the young man comes to her and talks to her. She tells him that her Uncle Mick is in the hospital. He feels bad and hugs her. The young man tells her that he will be alright. Kyle, the old friend of Mick and Jessie, come home to give them lunch. In the next scene, we see Jessie practicing rodeo and her horse does good. Jessie is sad thinking about her uncle. Mick comes home after a few days. He is now recovered. Jessie hugs Mick after she sees him. Now, Uncle Mick is worried about his family. The next day, Jessie practices rodeo and Kyle gives her some advice on how to do it. She asks him where he learned that and he says he got it from watching YouTube videos. Jessie goes to school. The young man invites her to a party and Jessie says to him that she'll think about it. Jessie works in the horse farm and Amber asks Jessie about her Uncle Mick and how he is doing. She tells her she is doing fine. Jessie also asks Amber about horse riding and gives her some advice. Again in school, Jessie asks Kenzie to come with her to the party the young man invited her to. Jessie and Kenzie go to the place where the young man invited them and they get to see bull riding. They have a little fun there and forget about their problems. After this, Kenzie wants to leave but Jessie tells her to stay. She doesn't stay and Jessie goes to the after party with the young man. Jessie is in the party now and she doesn't want to drink, but the young man tells her to drink anyway. This is when Kyle comes to the party and he sees a young man trying to take Jessie someplace. Kyle fights with the young man and tells Jessie to leave. Due to this fight, the cop comes there and it's over. In the climax, we can see Jessie riding in the rodeo and wins a prize for her skills in rodeo. Seeing this, Mick buys another horse for Jessie and they stay happy as a family. The film ends here. Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to let me know how you feel about today's video in the comments down below. Stay safe and never forget, you are awesome.